police forces. There's no libraries listed in our Constitution. There's also not Social Security listed in our Constitution, and many people would say we rely on that. Is this, therefore, unconstitutional health care, and should we be concerned about that?
Let me be clear. What's unconstitutional is a particular feature of the health care reform plan, an individual purchase mandate. And it is clearly unconstitutional, not because it's not mentioned in the Constitution, but rather because the Constitution specifically prohibits this. The way the Constitution does this, the federal government is the government of limited and enumerated powers. Federal Congress does not have a power to legislate in every area. It was done by design because framers wanted to diffuse power. They wanted to make sure that no single governmental entity exercises too much power. That's key to protecting individual liberty. The problem you have here is Congress has the power to regulate commerce, but the individual mandate has nothing to do with the regulation of commerce. It really tells you, it regulates you as an individual. It regulates all Americans because they simply exist.
Okay, David, let me ask you a question. Would you agree that insurance companies should be forced to cover people regardless of previous illness or pre-existing conditions, yes or no?
Constitutionally, I think the government can do that. That's rather foolish for other reasons.
Here's the problem, David. Sorry to interrupt. If you then do that, what stops people from carrying zero insurance until all of a sudden they get sick and walk up to an insurance company and say, you have to cover me because you can't deny me because of previous illness or pre-existing conditions?
You're absolutely right. In fact, I make this point in our Wall Street Journal piece. You would have totally dysfunctional results. But if you take the Constitution seriously, as I certainly do, you cannot proceed unconstitutionally in order to make effective your policy. What you're basically saying is, which is the same thing I said in my piece, the entire regulatory scheme that the Obama administration wants cannot be sustained without this mandate. So sorry, the mandate is unconstitutional, therefore the entire scheme falls apart.
So therefore, under your point, and your point is that because the government would mandate this excise tax on you, under Senator Baucus's plan, by the way, that people who don't maintain their health insurance for themselves would have to pay that excise tax of up to $1,500 per year. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say that I need to have this is mandated upon me, and therefore I have to come out of pocket if I don't live up to this, right?
Let me emphasize, it's not a tax, it's a fine, and it's very important because, think about it for a second. If a government can mandate you to purchase health insurance and backs it up by imposing a fine, the government can basically direct how you spend every disposable dollar left after taxes. The government can tell you to buy health club membership. The government can tell you that you need to buy a certain amount of fruits and veggies every year. That would turn the federal government into a government of unlimited powers that would fundamentally destroy the separation of powers. That cannot be allowed to stand.
David, we got to leave it there. Check out his great article that he wrote for the Wall Street Journal piece, Mandatory Insurance is Unconstitutional.